In this video, we're gonna learn how to log into websites using Selenium. So we're gonna log into this Twitter website, but before we do it, I wanna tell you that logging into websites for web scraping is not a good practice because not only your IP could get blocked, but also your account can be banned. So for example, if you log into Twitter so many times, you could lose access to your account. So try not to do it unless it's absolutely necessary. I try to avoid it at any cost and I don't use it so much, but just for educational purposes, I'm going to show you how to do it. That being said, let's go to PyCharm and let's start writing some code. So first, as usual, we import WebDriver from Selenium. So we write from Selenium import WebDriver. And this is the first thing we're gonna do. And then we set the website variable. So the website, as you can see here, it's twitter.com. So I'm just gonna copy and paste. And then the path, and I'm gonna paste it. You have to write yours. Now, after this, we do the usual step. So we set a driver here. We create a driver variable, and now we write WebDriver, which is this one, that Chrome, because we're using the Chrome WebDriver, and inside the path. Next, we open this website doing driver.get and web inside parentheses. And finally, we write driver maximize window to get the whole window maximized. Now, here to log into Twitter, first we have to click on this login button. So let's inspect it. So right click and then click on inspect. So we got this div element here and it doesn't tell us much about this button, but above this element we have this a tag with href equal to /login, which I think it's really useful to locate this login button. So I'm gonna locate this with XPath. So I press Ctrl F to build an XPath. And as you can see here, we have an a tag, href attribute, and login attribute value. So let's build the XPath with this data. First, /, then a square brackets at href equal to quotes and inside quotes /login. So here the element highlighted in green is the button we want. So the XPath was successfully created. Now let's copy this XPath and now back to PyCharm. And now I'm gonna create a login variable. So login equal to driver and that find element by XPath. And inside this, double quotes and this XPath we created. Then we're going to click on it. So login.click. Now, after we click on the login button, let's give some time so that page can render correctly. So I'm gonna import time and set here time.sleep. Let's say 2 seconds. Okay, so now let's go to the browser to repeat this action. So I'm gonna click on login and now we have this second page. Now here we have to write a username and password. So I'm gonna locate these elements. So I'm gonna click on here. So we get this element, but it doesn't contain any meaningful word. So we have to find something better. So I'm gonna scroll down a little bit and let's see here we have this dir with auto, then autocomplete with on, and then we have this name attribute with session, username, or email. So I think this is good for locating this username box. So I'm gonna copy this one and I'm gonna use it for my XPath. So we have to locate this input element. So I'm gonna modify this XPath we created before and we're gonna use an input here and the attribute is gonna be name and the value this session username or email. I just copied. So let's write it. So here input and here href. Instead of href we write name and here the value. So I paste it. So we got two values as we can see here. One is this one we just want and the other apparently is not visible. So we have to use another element as a reference to get only this one. So let's get something that contains the whole thing, not only this username individually or this password, but the whole login box. So I'm going to inspect here, and now let's check for something good. So I inspected this one and we got this. And again, meaningless words that doesn't mean anything. Of course, you can copy and paste it, it's okay, but I just like to use something more meaningful. And let's scroll down, and here I think this is a good one. It's action attribute and the name is session, and it contains the username and password. So I think we can use this one to exclude that invisible element we got before. So I'm gonna copy this XPath we created before so we don't lose it. I'm gonna paste it here to use it later. And now let's build this new XPath. So I'm gonna copy this session and I'm gonna put it in here. So instead of this one, session and form, the tag, and action, the attribute. So here session, here action, and here form. So we got the element we wanted. So I'm gonna call this the login box, which is gonna be our first element here. This one is gonna be our second. We pasted before. So first the login box. So login underscore box equal to driver dot find element by XPath. And inside it, I'm gonna open double quotes and paste that XPath inside. Now I'm gonna use this context to locate the username and password. So I'm gonna write here username equal, and here login box find element by XPath. So here I'm gonna paste this one, just copy and paste. But since we're using this login box as a reference, we have to add that because this indicates we're using the current node, which is login box. Now let's locate the password. So back to the browser, and now I'm gonna inspect the password. So here we have the element again, and it's similar to the username because as you can see here, we have a name attribute and the value is session password. So I'm gonna copy this one, and I think I'm gonna duplicate the code I wrote before because it also has input. So input name and this value. So here the input, the name, and the value. So I'm gonna duplicate this. And here set to password. And now I'm gonna replace this for the, sorry, not all of that, but this value right here inside these single quotes. Now, once we have this username and password, we have to send the text. So we use on Selenium the send keys method. So we write username and then we write send keys. And inside send keys, we have to write the email and the password. Well, here password, send keys to. So you have to write your password and your email to log in your Twitter account. Next, to log into Twitter, we have to click on this login button. So I'm gonna inspect this login button, and here we find this div element that has this role attribute with this button value. So I think this is gonna help us to find this login button. So I'm gonna build the XPath, which is gonna be a div, role, and button. So I copy button. Now here, instead of form, div, and here the role. And now I just have to delete this slash. And here we have this. Now we have here two elements. We can use the same trick we did before to just isolate this whole thing and exclude the second element, which is invisible, which is the one here. The other is the one we want, but also we can leave it as it is, because when locating the XPath, if there are two or more elements with the same XPath, Selenium is always gonna take the first one. So this is the first one listed and it's gonna click on this one. So I'm gonna copy this And now back to PyCharm. Now I'm gonna write driver dot find element by XPath, and inside I'm gonna write the XPath we built, and this is gonna be I'm gonna set this to a variable. I'm gonna name login button, and then we click on this button. So login button dot click. Okay, now everything is ready to run this script, but I have to introduce my email and password. So before making this video, I set my email and password as global variables, so I just have to import OS. You don't have to do this because you can only write your password and email. I just don't want to write my password here and share it with everyone, so I have to use this. So instead of writing email, I'm gonna write OS, which is operating system, and I'm gonna use environment.get, and inside this I'm gonna write a variable I created before making this video, which is Twitter underscore user, and I'm gonna do the same for the password. So I paste this one, and instead of user I write pass. So now everything is ready. You don't have to do this, just write your password and your email and it's gonna be fine. So I right click and then run. Now let's see what happens. So the browser should be open now on Twitter, then login, then my username and password, and then the page should be loaded. So we have here the page. Everything's okay. As you can see, I don't use this account. I don't use Twitter so much. But anyway, we successfully logged into Twitter. And that's it. On this video, you just learned how to log into websites using Selenium.